Assalamu alaikum everybody, and a very warm welcome back to another video here on the Arabic with Sam channel. In this video, obviously every Sunday, we kind of do these questions that students have come in from the Arabic in 60 Steps program. What is the Arabic in 60 Steps program? It's my program. If you want to become one of my students, you get one of these books in the post and access to the entire program, then you just go to the link in the description below. Or just type in arabicin60steps.com and you'll find the website as well to find out more. But what we're going to do in this video, it'll be useful for people who aren't on the program as well, is we're going to talk about verbs with prepositions, right? Because this is something that confuses a lot of students in the earlier steps of the program. Because we encounter verbs using prepositions that we perhaps wouldn't expect. You know, for example, in English, we use prepositions with verbs all the time. Like we say, whenever we see the verb to go, we pretty much always use the verb to, right? In English, we can't say I'm going park. We have to say I'm going to the park, right? Perhaps some people do say things like, I went shop, right? But it's not really correct English. And when we come into Arabic, sometimes Arabic doesn't even use the prepositions that we would expect. You know, for example, like in English, we always say that we talk about something. You know, we use talk and we use the preposition about. But in Arabic, they might use talking upon something. You know, and sometimes there's just a little bit of mismatch. And then even we sometimes find uses in the Quran that aren't exactly what we'd expect. And the thing that mainly prompted this video is when students asked me about an example of an ayah that I have in one of the workbooks in step 6 or 7, I believe, where we just look at the beginning of an ayah in Surah Al-Ma'arij, I believe, and it says سَأَلَ سَائِلٌ بِعَذَابٍ. Okay, that's all we have in the book, but in the ayah it's عَذَابٍ واقعة. But so we have سَأَلَ بِه something in this case. You know, like in the Quran it says سَأَلَ بِه. He asked by something, you know, but when we translate it, we say he asked about it, right? The questioner questioned, or the asker asked about the adhab, about the punishment. And it's kind of one of the main questions. I can almost guarantee that students, when they join the program, they'll ask me about that in a couple of weeks when they come across that lesson. So I'm actually planning to change it. We'll have a different example in there because we don't need to go through the nuances of why Allah uses particular prepositions in the Quran at that point in the program. But what we're going to do in this lesson is go over about 10 examples of common verbs with prepositions that's really useful for you to know. So the first one is obviously sa'ala. Typically, in like modern standard Arabic, we typically use sa'ala an, right? We typically say ask about, and that lines up with our English quite nicely as well. So the verb sa'ala, present tense yas'alu, yeah, and the word for a question is a su'al, but you usually use it with an. The next one that often catches people out is the verb takallama. So takallama, to speak, you know, even when we say things like I speak English, and atakallamu al-Ingliziyya, that's just when you speak a language, right? But when you're saying that you're speaking about something, students usually expect there to always be takallama an, right? Because an means about, so to speak about, like we use in English. But takallama, it's actually, it seems a bit more fasih. It seems a bit more correct to say takallama ala. There's another verb which means the same thing, which is tahaddatha, which is tahaddatha an, but takallama ala. Like those are the two that I was always taught, and especially taught when I was in Palestine. But because of how commonly in Aramiya takallama an rather is used, it has become standard Arabic. Like, it is still correct to do so, but mainly this point isn't about you using it, because you can use either, right? I'd give you a green tick for either if you said takallama an or ala. But if you ever see takallama ala, then that's why, right? Like, you know, takallama ala, often in Arabic you do say to speak upon something, and that's just part of the rhetoric. That's how it's done. So the next one is the verb fakara. So fakara means to think about to think something, really. So we would expect it to be fakara'an, right, to think about something. But Arabic uses fakara fi, that you think in something, right, when you're thinking about something. And that's just something to be aware of, right? Next one, I mean, this one should be obvious, but sometimes it does catch students out. So dhahaba ila. You know, we pretty much always use ila when we use dhahaba. That there are, I mean, it's, you know, I have in the past had students who come from language backgrounds where their language doesn't do that. Like, for example, the students that I have who their first language is Somali. In Somali, the verbs don't do that, right? Like those who speak Somali, like the verb tag or ad, they don't do that, right? you know, something like "Wahan adaya London burrito" or something like that. If you're going to say that in Somali, you're saying like I'm going. You just say I'm going London, right? You don't need to use a preposition with it. Like some verbs in Somali you do need to, but yeah, if you use the verb ad or use the verb tag in Somali, then you don't need a preposition with it. But in Arabic you do, and that normally isn't a problem for English speakers because we do it in English, don't we? We say to go to somewhere. Anyways, next one. These two always catch people out. So there's this verb raghiba. What does raghiba mean? Don't really know until we have the preposition with it. And depending on what preposition you use with it, it can be the opposite meaning, right? So raghiba an means to like detest something or to really dislike something. Raghiba an. But raghiba fi means to desire something. So they're almost the opposite meanings depending on what preposition you use with it. So I don't know, I'll try to think of a cool way to remember that actually, but yeah, but an, maybe an sounds more aggressive. An, because you're using a more firm sound. So remember that one's the one about disliking something. And then fi, because fi is I don't know how that, but it sounds softer, doesn't it? So maybe fi is about the desiring something, and the an something is the detesting something. Okay. Next one is one that we actually saw in a fairly recent episode of the Useful Fridays that we do, where we take something from Arabic Workshop. We saw the verb istayqadha ala something. And that really, the verb istayqadha means to wake up, and ala means upon. But when we say in English that we woke up upon something, that doesn't really make sense. But what it means in Arabic is that you woke up to something, right? Yeah, you woke up to the sound of something in this example. I think the example that we went over is استيقظت على صوت أمي or استيقظت صباحا على صوت أمي. It's like I woke up in the morning صباحا على صوت أمي to the voice of my mother. Yeah, or you're woken up by something rather. You wake up to something or woken up by something. I suppose there's a bit of a difference between those. Yeah, but that's what it means. Next one. Next one is the verb. We don't actually have this word in the program, so this is a bonus word for you. It's just one that I thought of when I was going through this particularly. So there's the verb yaqinu, meaning to be certain of something, and you always say bi with it. So yaqinu bi means to be certain of something. Yeah, I suppose in English we do say of with it as well. So you would expect it to be min in Arabic, but it's not. It's bi. You are certain by something. Yeah. That's how it's done in Arabic. And then the last one is one that we hear a lot. So the verb baraka yubariku would be a form 3 verb, fa'ala baraka, to bless something. And you usually say fi or li, and they mean the same thing. So barakallahu lak and barakallahu feek, they mean the same thing, right? Barakallahu lak and barakallahu feek. There was one other example, like, oh yeah, another one that came to my head just then. The verb ضحك. I haven't got that written down, but it just came to my mind. So when you do ضحك, when you laugh, in English we say that we laugh at something, right? We laugh about something. But in Arabic you laugh from it, or you laugh of it, right? You ضحك min something. أتضحك مني, like, are you laughing at me? أتضحك مني. Yeah, or on that note actually, we'll do a bonus one. So the verb غضب, to be angry. You always غضب min something. Say لا تغضب مني. Don't be angry. Don't be angry from me. Or don't be angry. Don't be angry of me. لا تغضب مني. Don't be angry with me. Yeah. So غضب is actually another example that does that, like the verb ضحك. Of course, we actually did 11. I planned to do 10, but we did 11. So a nice little bonus one in there for you. So that's everything. I hope that answers the question for those of you who sent that question in to me. Next Sunday, we're going to go over actually using the pattern fa, ayn, and lam, because there is actually a verb in Arabic, which is fa'ala. It's actually a used verb. But sometimes we take those letters and we use that in the science of sarf. We take those letters to demonstrate patterns of words, and sometimes students get a bit confused between those. So I'm going to clarify some of the questions on that next Sunday. So I'll see you guys then. But actually, even if you can't wait until then, I have other videos coming out through the rest of the week. So yeah, enjoy. On Tuesdays, we're doing jokes, learning Arabic through jokes. On Fridays, we're doing useful Arabic. And then obviously today, Sundays, we're doing questions from the Arabic in 60 Steps program. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to like and share it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Stay safe. Assalamu alaikum.